Right then, ladies and gentlemen, we have, of course, World Cup Chronicles episode 2 with Veda Krishnamurthy, who, of course, is with us in cricket.com. And boy, I'm going to have a lot of fun with Veda, of course, not just with the fun segments, but getting through this World Cup. It starts, what, 4th of March from New Zealand, 6th of March. Pen your dates down because it's India, Pakistan. It's going to be building up to something fantastic. But first and foremost, we're going to be reviewing the New Zealand India series. India grabbing a consolation win earlier this morning. We're shooting this, of course, late in a Thursday afternoon. But enough of my fluff. Let's get the woman, the girl power that she is, or Darth Vader, as some of her teammates call her, Veda Krishnamurthy. Thanks so much for making your time felt at cricket.com. How are you, first and foremost?
Hi, thanks for inviting me for this. I'm pretty excited. I'm doing good, thanks. Just keeping myself busy with whatever I could do. That's all I could.
Absolutely, and it's going to be fun picking your mind about the Women's World Cup and, of course, this Indian women's team who showing certain signs of doing well in the World Cup. But let's, of course, move on with things which matter. What are your takeaways from this particular India New Zealand series for starters?
Well, I would say our batting, because we've been scoring about 270s in a couple of games. We did chase 250. So I would say, our batting is our takeaway. The batters have done really well. Meghna was in the standbys for the World Cup, and she got an opportunity because Smriti missed out because of COVID, and she grabbed it beautifully. And I think the way she came in and started off the innings for the Indian team was brilliant to watch. Not to forget, she's making a comeback, and that is like. A big thing for a player because you'll be under pressure, but she didn't seem to be. She did ODI debut as well, so that was great to watch. I've seen her from the time she's kid, so maybe I'm a little biased towards her, but it was brilliant to watch her play. And Mithali has been fantastic from the last 2 3 series. She's done well in the series. Her scores and her the way she's going about is brilliant. A lot of talks about the strike rate, but I think she's answered it pretty smartly this series, and she's done really well. Of course, we know how well Smriti and Mithali chases. So today, when they did in the fifth ODI, was a prime example how good they are. And I think Richa Ghosh's batting has been superb. Deepti has contributed. We yet to see Shefali fire, but that's not a problem. She just needs one innings to go, and I think World Cup will be um, uh, her area where she is going to fire from all cylinders. So I'm excited for the batting, how it is going to be. We've seen the wickets have been absolute belter. So yeah, I'd say our batting is coming on really well.
Yeah, Queenstown, there's something about that venue. It's so special. It just looks so scenic. It's out of a picture book for sure. Now, you mentioned the Holy Trinity there, which is, of course, Smriti, Mithali getting the runs, Harmanpreet, more importantly, of course, finding that momentum. Now, you called it as well before the series when we spoke to you off air, where the fact that you said Smriti Mandana is a vital cog. We saw today how it's important to lay the foundation. And more importantly, I was just kind of going through her post match interview, and she kind of hinted upon the fact that they need a vital foundation for those middle orders to flourish. Right, let's of course ask you another problem, so to speak, dare I say, about the fielding which has gone on in the series. A lot of drop catches, Veda. Is that a cause of concern for this Indian team, especially given the fact we're so close to the World Cup?
Well, I mean, I haven't played in New Zealand as such, but I've heard that it's too breezy. Uh,
Okay.
you know, uh, when the ball is in air, like which if it's sky high, you kind of tend to misjudge a little bit because the ball tends to move. You feel that you're under the ball, but you're not. That is something which is going to be very important. I would not be too critical about it, because we saw New Zealand do the same thing. So it is only about getting adjusted, as in when they get in fielding sessions. I think they will get adjusted to the ground and the conditions. So I would see, like, how they would go about in the World Cup, because they've got enough game time now. So I feel that is more important, like being a field, like being on the field when the conditions are so tough. It is about the hours you put in the fielding session. So I'm pretty sure the fielding coach and the head coach will be concentrating on that, and even the players know that it is difficult, so they need to make sure that they do a lot of fielding sessions. So I feel they've understood the conditions. Now it is about how they're going to go from now till the World Cup starts. So you can't have all these excuses when the World Cup comes. So they have enough time now. I understand quarantine. They didn't have enough practice time to get into this series. But I'm just hoping, like, now whatever 10 days they have, concentrate more on the fielding and get it going.
Yeah, words of wisdom from you. And once a wise man said that every day is a school day. Hopefully, the women's team take a page out of that man's book. Right. Let's ask you about the new ball concerns then, because of course we have the veteran in Julian Goswami, but we had Meghna Singh as well. Do you think that there's a lack of experience in terms of sharing the new ball with Julian? How can we address that particular issue, according to you, Veda?
Well, experience do matter a lot of times. I mean, I've told it before as well. As you look at the World Cup squad, there is experience, there is youngsters, but I think the in between, like where the bridge which connects, is where it is missing with few players, is what I feel. Because there's too much experience and there's no experience. There's nobody in between who can balance the ship. Uh, but again, with the COVID and a lot of people missing out, they were in extended quarantine. Meghna has just got 2 games. Had she been there from the first game, she must have got like used to it. Renuka was in the quarantine as well. So it was only Julian who was available from game one, and at the same time, she's been phenomenally good. Like with the new ball, she's just bowled a lot of good length areas, and she's troubled the batters, if you've seen. So if in the World Cup, if she finds an able ally at the top who can, support her, it'll be really they're good for the Indian team. But again, we need to wait and watch with what combination they're going to go. With Pooja being available as well, whether they want to go with 3 pacers or 2 pacers, it's always been a mystery for the Indian team. When they go with 3 pacers, they don't finish their 10 overs quota. It is dependent on the spinners. So I'm not quite sure about that. I'd like to see just 2 pacers and have your spinners, because you can bank on them. uh, so I feel that is what is important, how they're going to go with the combinations now.
Yeah, and they say horses for courses, but we've seen the conditions in New Zealand in this 5 match series. You said breezy, of course, assisting the bowlers, not just on the pitch, but overhead conditions as well. Uh, Before we finish up, just reviewing this New Zealand India series, of course, the World Cup isn't too far away. That India Pakistan encounter, like I said, on the 6th of March. What are the other positives you can pick up from an Indian fan perspective? And more importantly, do you think 4-1 is actually a scoreline which flatters New Zealand? Because most of the games were nip and tuck, really.
And to be honest, I really didn't think that it would be 4-1. I thought it would be a much closer contest.
Yeah.
But we should give it to New Zealand as well. The way they've come out, Amelia has been brilliant for them. Susie Bates is scoring runs. The bowlers are doing really well. And if you see, there are few catches which the half chances they've created, and they've taken that opportunity. I think that is where the win percentage. If you see, the New Zealand has an edge over it. But I personally felt it would have been much closer contest. But the scoreline, obviously the 4-1 doesn't suggest that, but if someone who's closely watched the game, they've seen that it is the fielding which is, been the decider, like whoever has won the game. Even today, we saw New Zealand missing out on a lot of opportunity. So I feel like, bowling, batting happens, but if you are on field and if your fielding is 100% on that particular day, it's going to be a winner. So I feel that is the concerned area for anybody going in there, not just India or New Zealand, any team who is going to play on that day, how well they're going to feel. So I'm curious to see how they're going to adjust, and how they're going to come up with that.